last few years, we have been bringing under the COVID stress. This was to enable Africa to reach at least 70% vaccination rate by 2022. It is clear to us that to reach this target, we have to move with speed and scale. This is what led to the conceptualization of the AU-COVID vaccination initiative, which was launched by His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, on the 7th of April in 2022. This also, the conceptualization of the initiative is co-led by the directorate which I had and our colleagues as sister organ, the Africa CDC. Bingwa, as Janice already said, is a Swahili word, his Swahili word, which means champion. I'll also tell you what it means in my language. So by the time we leave this room today, I hope we are going to have a lot more Abangobi than we actually entered this room. A Bingwa is anyone who is vaccinated and commits to mobilizing at least 10 people to get vaccinated. Also, be a Bingwa activator. A Bingwa activator is vaccinated as a young person who commits to mobilizing their community and families to vaccinate. Bingwa amplifiers are organizations who commit to use their resources for the Bingwa initiative, for the result of the Bingwa initiative, including reaching the target that we have 50% vaccination across the community. At the center of the Bingwa initiative is youth engagement. How do we get African young people to mobilize their peers, families, and communities to get vaccinated? As you may already know, currently on the continent, it is estimated that young people are at least 413 million. Can we capitalize on these numbers to get Africa vaccinated? This is the question that we are asking us. And I'm sure as sitting here, you're asking yourself, 4 months into the launch of the initiative, what have you been doing? As the enthusing Ibrahim Sanusi mentioned, we have members of the government from Uganda. I'm happy to announce that most recently, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, the president of Uganda, was the first head of state to actually commit to being a Bingwa himself. And his commitment looks like working with us at the African Union to scale up vaccination across Uganda. We hope to continue to get vaccination uptake across the continent and cascade other communities. We also have Namibia represented here, and our next plans look like going to Namibia, South Africa, here in Nigeria, as well as Ethiopia. We've also been engaging violently on social media and other medias around the vaccination drive. We hope to continue again with the initiative. And because this initiative is a public-private youth initiative, it is propelled by partnerships, of which include UNICEF, and we saw Dr. Dai sitting at the back, MasterCard Foundation, GIZ, Trace TV, Meta, TikTok, One Campaign, and many other partners. Now, we have other Bingwas as well that have come up to announce themselves. His Excellency, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, identifies as a Bingwa. Madam Russell, the Executive Director of UNICEF, identifies as a Bingwa. Dr. John, the former Africa CDC Director, identifies as a Bingwa. So you know that you don't have to be a young person to be a Bingwa. Speaking of member states and the member states that are sitting in this room and the ones that we still plan to go to, engagement of African Union member states is central to the Bingwa initiative. We aim to build the plethora of activities already, build up on the plethora of activities that is already ongoing in member states and really use that for speed and scale at the country. In conclusion, we are aware that globally, public restrictions are becoming more relaxed, and we're seeing the need for more innovation around how to keep COVID vaccinations on top of that. Risk perceptions have dropped, vaccination is the community. But all of this require innovative approaches around speed and scale. We're deliberate around
Я Майнкрафтер долбоёб, я дебил и долбоёб. У меня в хобби Майнкрафт, крипер, бойся я тебя. Убью нахуй долбоёб, я ведь Стивен и пиздец. Я снимаю, блять, Майнкрафт, у меня 47 хромосом. 47 хромосом. Я обожаю минус, блядь, этой песни, сука, блядь. Я Майнкрафтер и пиздец. 47 хромосом отсосал у долбоёба, я ведь тот.
И засаживает мне посал, ебал знаю узенькую свечку. Ассаламу алейкум, пидорасы ебаные.
Thank you so much for that, actually. Now allow me to introduce a colleague, Dr. Chris Kenny, who is the Senior Technical Officer.
Я Майнкрафтер долбоёб, я дебил и долбоёб. У меня в крови Майнкрафт, крипер, бойся я тебя. Убью нахуй долбоёб, я ведь Стивен и пиздец. Я снимаю, блять, Майнкрафт, у меня 47 хромосом. 47 хромосом, 47 хромосом. Я обожаю минус, да, этой песни, сука, блять. Я Майнкрафтер и пиздец. 47 хромосом отсосал у долбоёба, я ведь тот.
И засаживает мне посал, ебал знаю узенькую свечку. Ассаламу алейкум, пидорасы ебаные.
Научник на трэш, я вообще запрещаю. Пока молодая, научник на трэш, всенародно.
Globally, Africa is really behind the continent, globally. And the risk of this is taking COVID-19 as the landemic on the continent, and this is what we're trying to avoid. We already have a lot of issues on the continent, HIV, malaria, TB, and we don't want to add on top of that COVID-19 as landemic on the continent. So Africa will need to work hard so that we can have this rate at least reaching our target, which is 70% of people to be vaccinated. As Madam mentioned, the initiative came up during the summit that happened in February in Addis Ababa, when the head of state, after the report that the Excellency Ramaphosa gave and mentioned the situation on the continent. So the thought was, how are we coming up with new ways of working so that we can work hard and have this rate of vaccination going up on the continent. One of the issues was that the continent, Africa is a continent which has a very large number of young people, and these are the people who are not at that moment who are not getting vaccinated. And this is how the idea of having young people championing the vaccination on the continent came up. So, and I would like to also remind Madam Mastercard. In June 2021, Africa CDC and the foundation, Mastercard Foundation, they signed this program which is called Saving Life and Livelihood, SLS. And this is the 1.5 billion that Africa CDC and Mastercard Foundation done to help the continent to have first access to vaccine on the continent and make sure that these vaccines are turned into vaccination. So we cannot be talking about vaccination if we don't have vaccine on the continent. This is where we are acknowledging the contribution of partners, but also other partners who are supporting the continent with having vaccine available so that everyone can be vaccinated. The Bingwa initiative has mainly three objectives. The first one is to create a network of young people who are championing the vaccination on the continent. And we want this to be a community engagement on the continent. As Madam said, young people should be working with the peer-to-peer education, talking to each other, like a Bingwa should be someone who should and talk at least 10 people, 20 people, like, I'm vaccinated, let's get vaccinated so that we can all of us be safe. And maybe one of the conclusions I'll come back to that. The second one, the third one is to contribute to what, as I mentioned, the work that at the top level, continental level, working to reach the 70%. Young people have to be involved in that and bringing a direct contribution to that themselves is being vaccinated and an indirect contribution to go and mobilize other people to get vaccinated so that we can bridge up the gap that we have between our 70% target and the 20% that we have actually. Madam has mentioned it already. This is a public-private and youth partnership where mainly we want young people to be the main actor in the initiative. Yes, we have every, all the leaders that we can either identify themselves as champion, and we really appreciate this kind of leadership or political support to the initiative because these are the leaders that we have on the continent. There is no initiative that can be successful if you don't have this kind of leadership engagement and commitment to it. So we really appreciate leaders as President Kaguta Museveni who identified himself as very committed a champion and so many other leaders that Madam has mentioned so far. And this is an initiative that is implemented and our non-profit that Madam Suda, Youth Africa, EDC, and the Youth Division, and the directorate. And the success that we need, we're looking at how are we going to make sure that this initiative is going to be successful. We are looking at the availability of vaccine on the continent, and as we've been discussing in the meeting that we've been having here the whole week, vaccine on the continent are available. We are not actually, it's not an issue of not having vaccine on the continent, but the demand on the continent. Previously, we've been having that issue of not having vaccine. And if a question has been asked today, do we have vaccine in Nigeria now? I can say yes, because we have vaccine on the continent, but are we sure that, who are the people who are going to get vaccinated? Very few. So this is why we need some initiative where young people can go and sensitize, mobilize the community to go and get vaccinated. The second one, as I mentioned, just the local ownership. This is not just an initiative for the African Union or our partner, Mastercard, GIZ, but this is an initiative that we want it to be owned by the community, where young people are going to mobilize their family and friends. We need that local ownership, and this is one of the conditions to have this initiative successful. And the two other conditions that I mentioned here is having young people being empowered and also having very effective system in place that can support this initiative. We may have young people be on ground mobilizing people, but if there's no effective health system in place that can support this initiative, it won't be successful as well. So to conclude, I would like to conclude with 3 points. One is youth mobilization and meaningful engagement is really critical as a game-changing for the situation that we have actually on the ground. Young people should be championing the initiative and make sure that we are vaccinated or mobilizing our family and community. if you don't have that ownership, that engagement, you won't be succeeding with this initiative. And not only for this initiative, but the objective of the initiative is to get to the 70% of people to be vaccinated. We can be talking about 70% of people to be vaccinated on the continent if young people are not involved at all. That cannot be possible. And as I mentioned, the political leadership and engagement is also very important. We may have young people engaged on ground in the community, but we also want our political leaders to be engaged, but not only political leaders, but religious leaders and also community leaders. And in this, what I want to mention is to look at some legal content that we can be discussed to see how countries are targeting people to be vaccinated. Lastly, what I want to say is, don't forget this. No one is safe until everyone is safe. And for everyone to be safe, we all need to be vaccinated. And get vaccinated, shoot your shot, and make sure that you complete your vaccination. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaneki. No one is safe until everyone is vaccinated. Colleagues from the African Union have shared with us some of the leading issues that they have highlighted as important to the success of the Bingwa initiative. Strong political leadership, availability of vaccines and its distribution, addressing hesitancy by ensuring that we engage with the community. Our colleagues on the tech team will show us a video that tries to bring together what we have been doing so far since this initiative was launched on the 7th of April 2022. Over to you, Tech.
Launched two initiatives, the 1 million next level and the AU-Bingwa initiative. We as a commit to work with the government of the Republic of Uganda to contextualize the continental initiatives and really adapt them to the country's context.
The AU-Bingwa initiative is an initiative of the African Union, spearheaded by the Women, Gender and Youth Directorate of the African Union Commission and the Africa CDC, with a number of our partners, GIZ, UNICEF, and the MasterCard Foundation. It is basically an initiative that seeks to bring innovation and scale up vaccinations on the continent.
This initiative seeks to improve vaccination from its current levels of less than 20% to about 70% of the population over the next 1 year.
Africa CDC signed a partnership with MasterCard, and that partnership will come up with this program which we call Savings Our People, to help the continent vaccinate as much as possible for us to reach the health community. And under this big program, which is SAF, we are coming up with the Bingwa initiative. The idea is to bring young people to be engaged as champion, as you say, Bingwa which means champion, to be engaged in their community, mobilize their community, their family, to be vaccinated so that the continent can reach their humanity.
Through the support from the program, we are bringing in the creative arts industry to use that as a mobilization framework for bringing the vaccines closer to young people. So through this program, we'll be going to various regions across the continent, mobilizing young people particularly, and of course broadly the African citizens to take up the COVID-19 vaccines.
video event was one of the highlights of this event.
We are aiming to take vaccinations to 70% by 2023. I am a Bingwa, Bingwa's getting back. I'm a Bingwa, are you?
Thank you very much. As you've seen with that video, we had a very exciting engagement with the community in Uganda a few weeks ago, where we had invited creatives from the East African region to also participate at the African Peer Review Mechanism Youth Symposium. Vaccination, or let me say COVID-19, is an important issue. It's a serious one. And we do not intend to make a joke of it by just dancing and singing. Rather, we are bringing the seriousness of creativity and the seriousness of the COVID-19 pandemic to address the challenge that we face. And to do that, because as you've seen, for us as the AU, everything is formal. But we've decided to go to those who know how to do this, to join us and help us to take these issues closer to the people, to the communities. And this is where I introduce our partnership with Trace Foundation as the mother body, for particularly using their various channels, the Trace TV franchise, to drive community engagement, bring in our colleagues from the creative industry, whether they are artists, they're footballers, they're comedians, they are influencers, or whether they are religious leaders as well, to bring them into this initiative and help connect with people. Our focus is leave no one behind, but also meeting people where they are, on the things that interest them, on things that excite them, while we pass the very serious message of getting the COVID vaccine. And at this point, I'd like to invite, I want to look for an adjective for Larry. But tall. Yeah, tall is a very good one coming from a lady. Yeah, but the do it and do it better and do it great, Larry Masha of Trace TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I mean, this is a beautiful thing that's happening here. I think this is one of the things, a lot of times the creative industry is deemed as the useless ones and the ones that don't have any kind of positive impact. And I think this mission here is how we can show our creative prowess and also show what we can do in social impact to create social change. Right? I think everybody here that we brought on the table are people that within their field, they have some level of influence. Right? They influence not only for bad, but good, or just promote, but it's actually doing some social things. So everybody here is here because they are already aware and they're advocates of the campaign. And I'm just going to do an intro to all our wonderful influencers and creators. And I don't want to, it's Imam Suruddin. He's a religious Islamic leader. And he's here with us just to kind of support the main voice to the nation. Okay. And next we have the incredible Jenny Frank. She's actually one of the most followed. And our Mr. Funnyman, Mr. Pencil, is an incredible comedian, and he's also lending his voice to this campaign as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each one of them actually a chance to actually kind of just share a few